Hi all,
Hello,
I am Maya
I'm Akhil.
and we are Harry Tinkers.
Welcome to our channel.
So today we'll be talking about how to spend one day in Nusa Penida. So Nusa Penida is an island which can only be reached through a ferry. So it is easier to reach Nusa Penida from Kuta because it is just 17 kilometers away from the Sanur port where you will be taking the fast boat to Nusa Penida.
So the thing is, you have different vendors that supply this fast food. You would have to do an advance booking, or you can actually directly go to the Sanu port and then book it. However, that would generally take a longer time because you have to be in the queue for an extremely long time.
And there are a lot of tourists who have not done a pre-booking, so if the boat is full you won't be able to go. Maybe
Exactly.
you have to wait for the next day to get your boat.
Exactly.
So this is the port of Sanur. And from here we are going to Nusa Penida. Slides.
So we did the booking through Maruti Fast Food Service. You have different vendors available.
Yeah.
However, we actually chose it because the reviews was somewhat better compared to the other fast food services. Yeah. So the prices are extremely competitive. You may not see much difference. However, you would also have to be careful about what service that you take because there are other boat services that
Yeah.
we have received really bad comments mentioned there. Also, to tell you the truth, even our the Maruti fast food service was also not up to the mark as we expected. The thing is, we have actually paid around 1,800 INR, if
Per
I'm not
person.
wrong, per person. And this is through a website that we have booked for all the fast food services. So you can go there and see. They'll actually give you what kind of service that they give. If you require a pickup and drop, or
Yeah.
if you need hotel services in Nusa Penida and etc. So for that, the cost would be a little bit extra.
Yeah.
So what we chose was pick up and drop from from the hotel to hotel. So that's what we did, up and down.
And we had to pay it through cash, the whole money
Amount.
through cash.
They do take, but you would have to pay around 3% extra charge. However, when we went there, that's basically was the I think there was their office, I believe.
Yeah.
It was their office, like a temporary office which they had. That's where they actually take you over there, and you would have to pay it, and from there you get kind of a ticket, kind of a thing that you receive, and as well as a tag, right?
Yeah.
Where so the funny thing is, once you reach the shore, you would actually see people wearing different tags.
Yeah. So
You know-
ours was a blue color tag because probably that is the color which they chose for them. So what happened with us is they had sent us an email confirmation when we booked the ferry. And it was written in the email that they would pick us up at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yep.
So we were all ready for our trip. But what happened is there was no one to contact us at 6 o'clock. Even at 6:30, nobody contacted us.
So we called them back, and there was no reply from them. So the thing is, they've given us a contact number of the driver the previous night. However, what happened is when we are trying to reach that person, he's not picking up the phone at all.
Yeah, and we literally had a small panic attack because we just had one day to explore Nusa Penida, and then we decided to go to the Sanur port and check whether there are any fast boats available. And just when we were packing up all our things to go to the Sanur port, is when this driver is calling us and telling that he's already at our hotel.
Yeah, and
To
it's a
pick us
different
up.
person. Yeah, it's a different person who have come and
And
picked us
it's
up.
almost 7 o'clock. And our the timing which was given for the boat was 7:30. So the driver picked us up at 7 o'clock, and we reached the Sanur port exactly after half an hour after covering the 17 kilometers.
Yeah. And so it took around 5 to 6 minutes for us to. So as we mentioned earlier, we had to pay everything by cash.
Yeah.
So they've asked us whether you have cash or what's the other. You have already paid the amount. So we had to drop at a place to get the amount. So we dropped at an ATM service, and people who want take the cash.
So they'll take you to their office first, where you have to do your payments, and then they'll give you this ID card kinds of a tag, and then they'll take you to the port.
So before that, you would have to complete all the necessary items. So only after that, after you get the ticket, is when you can actually go to the Sanur port. Once you're in their office, they will actually give you a form to fill. Since we went as a couple, so they actually asked us to fill in both the details, and I've given all the information, whatever is necessary, like phone number and things like that. The reason being, in case if you're in Nusa Penida or in the Sanur port and the boat is going to start, so they need to give you a call, right?
Yeah.
So that's the reason they ask you to fill all the necessary information, as well as the hotel information, just in case that they have to give update in the hotel, right? And that's why they ask you to fill all the necessary information from their office. So from Sanur port, the boat actually started by 8 o'clock. It was not sharp 8 o'clock. It was around 8:05-ish. And it took around close to an hour for us to reach Nusa Penida. And
It was a very comfortable journey. Also, the view outside going in the sea was amazing.
You would actually see a lot of boats similar to parallel to you, who's actually taking us over there. The thing is, different boat surveys have different port.
So there are a lot of islands which can only be reached through ferry. For example, Nusa Dua, Nusa Penida. It depends on which island you're going, is your boat service will take you to.
Exactly. So we reached, in Nusa Penida at probably around 9:05-ish. However, it actually the fast boat actually stops a little bit away from the shore because you have a lot of coral. So you have a smaller boat that comes you and picks each and every person. So it will be 2 to 3 smaller boats which will be coming and it will pick us up and then take you to the shore.
People that live down in the south, they had their own restaurant. They had their own restaurant. That was the only meat restaurant. Then there was
The water is so clear over there that you
It's
can
crystal clear.
actually see the corals from your eyes. It's very beautiful.
It's literally crystal clear, I would say, and so fresh, cold water.
Yeah.
So once you reach Nusa Penida, you do have two options if you want to cover the places. Either you can take a cab service, which you should actually pre-book it through
With the ferry.
with the ferry itself. The other option that you have is take a bike service. So you'll have a lot of rental bikes that will be available.
And Grab and Gojek doesn't work there.
Exactly. So telling about the bike is when we remembered that immediately once you go out of the their office, which is in the shore,
There'll be lot of scooter vendors who will literally come behind you to give their bike to you. And most of these bikes are actually smuggled, so do not take it from them.
Yeah.
It's not at all advisable because they won't have any papers, they won't have helmet, and even
no brakes.
even the bike condition is pathetic.
Yeah. I'm not even sure that it has a proper pressure in those bikes. So what we advise would be, please do not take bikes from these service or these folks because it's going to be an extremely
They are
big
very
issue.
cunning. The thing is, we actually got caught by two guys like that, and we actually believed that their bike is good and all that because they were giving helmets, I guess. So that's why we got convinced. But when we asked for papers and all these things, they started laughing at us, and they just wanted the money. They did not even care whether we are taking the bike or not. They just wanted the money.
To tell you the truth, when you are in Kuta or Ubud or other places in Bali, when you get a bike, when you rent a bike, you actually get helmet with them, right?
Yeah.
And it'll be
And it's quite professional in Ubud and Kuta, but Nusa Penida was
No, yeah, it
not
was
at all
extremely bad.
good.
And when we asked for helmet to be provided, they actually charged an extremely good amount extra, and
Yeah.
that's not how the kind of service that we as a tourist are expecting, right?
And we thought that's the only kind of service over there. We were so disappointed. We were so sad that actually, do we have to take bike from them? These frauds, they were actually looking like some rowdy people over there.
Luckily, what happened is we actually walked a little bit further because we were extremely hungry
Yeah.
because of all this nuisance that happened. Because what we thought is like anyways, we started late,
Yeah.
and since there were a lot of procedures and getting a lot of things completed, we were in an impression that we would be at least be able to have breakfast at the proper time, but we couldn't.
Yeah. It was
Uh,
already 10 o'clock and we were really very hungry. So we thought, let's have something.
Exactly.
And then I guess we would get some ideas. Let's just get rid of these frauds.
Yeah, so we walked a little bit further, and luckily there was a small restaurant that was available. It was a hut restaurant, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. And they had a buffet system over there.
Exactly. Good food.
Vegetarians and non-vegetarians. They provided us with fresh fruits and fruit juices, and they had a lot of other items in there.
The owner of the shop was actually an extremely aged guy, and he was kind enough to tell us what are the things. Even though he was not understanding the language, how much ever he can, he was actually trying to help us what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And that's where we actually took. That's the place we actually took the bike.
Yeah.
And it was a decent bike, I would say, compared to the other bikes that we had, or what
They
we were
gave us
supposed.
helmet, they gave us the papers, and he also said that there is a petrol pump over there. You can fill the petrol and then go. So that was very kind of him.
So the actual journey, took an extremely long time. So when we started, after putting the petrol and everything, it was around 11 o'clock that we started our journey.
And we had to come back by 4:30. So that was the time frame which we had to keep. So as we started, we had a big list of places to go. So we wanted to visit Crystal Bay, Kellington Beach, and the Angels Billabong. These three were the major places where we wanted to go. But we did not know how much far it is. So we checked it in the navigation map. And then we realized that Crystal Bay was just 20 minutes away from the place where we started.
Yeah, that's the closest place for us. So we thought it's better that we take that route and then go to the other necessary places based on the time frame that we have. Because in the port, they actually asked us to come by sharp 4:30, and they said that by around 4:45 or 5 o'clock they would actually start.
Yeah. So the roads to Crystal Bay was pretty fine, but the main problem which we faced was it
A
was
lot of
very
uphill, downhill.
downhill. So that's where we realized that
Our bikes did not have proper brakes at all. Luckily, somehow, we both used legs to, stop the vehicle, slow down. But it was fun, I would say.
yeah,
It
because
was kind of
see,
adventurous,
we
right?
did not know that we have to go uphill and downhill so many times. So finally we reached Crystal Bay somehow, and after reaching there, whatever struggles we had, all of it just vanished after reaching the beach. It was so beautiful. The name is so precise, Crystal Bay. The whole beach shines as if it's filled with some crystals or something.
And the thing is, this is just the tip that I would have to give. Be careful when you go inside the beach, because you have a lot of coral,
Yeah.
and it's gonna hit you so badly with the wave. So be careful on that. If you're wearing, flip flop.
I got badly hurt with this big coral. It actually did not look like as if it's gonna hurt me or something, but it was literally like a rough stone. So it hit on back of my feet and I started bleeding. I did not even know that I was bleeding. But when the wave hit me, it started burning. And that's when I knew that I got hurt with the coral. And thank God we had a medical kit. All thanks to him that he carried it along.
So people usually visit there to do snorkeling as well. So
Because the water is crystal clear. That's why the beach is named as crystal clear.
yeah, and you have a lot of corals as well, and that's especially the reason why you see a lot of corals hitting the beach with the wave. Sadly, but what I would have to say is because of all these motorboats,
The corals are dying, and that's why they are coming to the shore so often. And the beach is very secluded and isolated. There won't be a lot of tourists. We did not witness so many of them, but most of them were
doing the snorkeling
over there. We couldn't do it because our time frame was very less. So
we wanted to cover as much as possible. One of the locations that we have actually had in our mind, we want to cover it as much as possible.
Yeah. That's why we did not opt for the snorkeling.
The next place that we visited was Keringan Beach.
The most Instagrammable pictures from Bali are from this place.
And it takes around close to 30 to 40 minutes from Crystal Beach to Keringan if the road conditions are good.
Yes.
And this is where the major issues come into picture. The roads are really, really bad. It's extremely bad.
Yeah.
And
We are on the way to Keringan Beach, and the way is like super pathetic. Seems like a roller coaster ride. And it has like turns and slopes and big. What do you call khadda in English?
Potholes.
Yeah, potholes. And there comes a slope.
so tips would be please carry medical kit with you. You never know what's the conditions going to be, because the kind of bikes that you get, which has no brakes, no horn. I don't know if it has pressure in those tires. So
And there is no road. It's just pebbles, stones, and lot of sand. It's very bad. It's very difficult to ride a bike over there. And people like him who drive so well face the problem driving there. So you can imagine that if you don't know driving, please do not take the bike. It's very, very dangerous.
yeah, and what I would suggest is, even if you're taking the bikes, please ride slowly.
Yeah.
Do not go fast. Your life is more important than any fun that you get.
Yeah.
So please ride slowly.
And the road is very slippery as well.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of people falling on the road because of the bad conditions of the road.
yeah, you would not get. There is no brake. Okay, so you would have to go slow. And the major concern was the roads. Even though it was uneven, you had uphill, downhill.
Yeah, that's what the main problem is, because you won't get the control if you don't have brake. Plus these slippery kind of roads.
Exactly. And because of these pathetic road condition,
Your bike would be like
literally crying to have some fuel inside. What I would suggest is, make sure you fill the tank. This is again what we have seen. Even though we filled the tank, it was completely filled. It got drained really fast, maybe because of the road condition, I would say. So suggestion would be that if you can, take an extra bottle with you, so that you can put the petrol and keep it.
And there are no petrol bunks in between. We did not find any. So there were small shops selling petrol in can. And we were actually having doubt, why are they selling it like this, but then we understood that there are no petrol pumps and we have to get these kind of petrol from the shops.
Luckily, we did not face that much, because I think most of the places what we did is, I have actually turned off the engine to save the petrol, and this uphill and downhill are actually given a kind of a push, which added. Which basically saved petrol, I would say.
So finally, we reached Kellington Beach, and we were really very excited because of Kellington Beach only we chose Nusa Penida.
I would say Instagram has actually given a lot of influence for people to go and visit this place.
Yeah.
And definitely you would see more crowd than Crystal Bay, because when we reached Crystal Bay, we did not see that much of people.
So in Kellington Beach, there were a lot of people. Lots and lots of people, and everybody was clicking the Instagrammable picture over there and then just going back. But then there were some people who were
Actually
going
going
downhill, and we thought, okay, we'll also go. And
We should give it a shot.
Yeah. So there were steps in the beginning. So we started climbing down, and it was almost noon, like 12:30 we reached, and the sun was super hot.
Badly
And
hitting your backs. Yeah.
we did not realize that when we were climbing down, and then after like some time the
I think-
steps are not there.
Yeah, I think close to more than 300 steps, I would say.
Yeah, that's all. And then
There is no steps, so it's literally like if you go in a mountain, you have small caves kind of area there you can crawl and go down or go up, and that's how the kind of places that we had. So
and there is no support also to hold, it's very difficult, and people were actually going down with their kids and all. It was so difficult, and most of them told us don't go down, it's very difficult to come up and all that. But we were already halfway through, and we had some kind of an adrenaline rush that we have to go there, we have to go and see what's happening like downhill. And now I'm thinking, why did we go?
and this is on our honeymoon basically. So yeah,
I was wearing such a short dress, and climbing downhill was very difficult because I had to literally sit and then go down, So my dress was fully ruined because of the dust. And we were sweating so much. We were drinking water. We took a 2-liter big bottle with us, and almost half of it was over by the time we reached down. Finally, somehow, crawling, we reached the beach over there.
and oh my goodness, and
The
we were
most
like,
pretty beach we've ever seen.
and I would say that it was kind of an achievement. After going down, it kind of felt that we have actually reached a fairyland.
It was very beautiful. The beach was covered with hills all around, and there was a cave also inside, which we'll be showing you in a video right there.
Things you have to be careful over there, or why people usually doesn't go down to the beach, is because of the the high waves that comes and hits the shore.
The point is, the circumference of that area is very small, so the waves are actually very wild over there because it has to come through a very narrow way and then come and hit the shore. So even at 1 o'clock, the waves were pretty high, and it was covering almost half of the shore.
Yeah, it was extremely strong waves. For us who are not used to these strong waves, we actually didn't go near the water,
Yeah.
but we actually experienced how strong the waves were, and there were a lot of people who were playing around. If I'm not wrong, they were all Australians or from New Zealand, who are pretty much used to these things.
But we are not.
Yeah, no.
And there were lifeguards over there, so they suggested us to go back as soon as possible because the waves are gonna cover the whole shore by almost 3 o'clock. So you can imagine how big the waves are. if by 3 o'clock, if you have to go back, it's very dangerous as well. So by the time we reached there, we realized that there is no way to go up other than climbing back. So we did not waste so much time sitting over there, and it was very hot over there, and we were hungry as well,
That's
and
the
we did
first
not
point.
have water, enough water. So we had to climb back very fast. We just stayed there for 15 minutes, but those 15 minutes itself was mind blowing.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. As I mentioned earlier, it was like we have reached a fantasy world. It was so beautiful. I think you should experience once in your life.
Yeah, not more than that.
Yeah, not more than that's more than enough. Because you never know how the situation. Because it's difficult to climb down and climb up. It's more difficult to climb up.
See, if they had steps, then it was not an issue. But they did not have any steps from the point it is starting. You know,
Yeah, after
back.
300, close to 400 steps, it's like there's nothing. There's no steps. You
And
literally would have to crawl down.
Climbing up was really difficult. It was very hot and very draining. But we did it.
Yeah, we did it. I mean, it was, I would say, even though we have lost so much of energy while climbing up, we were extremely dehydrated. But
I just felt like going to the beach and diving inside the water. It was so hot.
so we climbed up by around close to 140, 145, and I think it took a good 1 hour, 1.5 hours, I believe, if I'm
Yeah.
not wrong. It took close to 1.5 hours for us to reach on the the place where we started. And the first thing that we did was to pour how much of water that we can on top of us
Yeah.
to
We were burning.
to hydrate
Literally
ourselves.
burning.
Yeah.
And then we drank a lot of water in order to hydrate ourselves.
We actually had a good amount of energy bars as well, because we kind of felt that we have lost all the energy possible because of dehydration. So we had water, as well as we had, I think, 2 to 3 good chunks of energy bars.
Yeah. And as soon as we reached up, we had our lunch. So it helped us to get some energy back.
Yeah, so we had, I think, a good amount of coconut water. Best thing to have it to give you an
Yeah.
instant energy.
Yeah.
And they also served really yummy food, I would say.
Yeah. And fresh fruits also helped. So that's what we did.
And we had not too much of heavy lunch, but we had a good amount to give us an instant energy. To give you an update, all of these adventures that we did is through flip-flops that we have worn.
Yeah.
So
It is not at all advisable to go to Kellington Beach with flip-flop. Please wear proper trekking shoes while if you are deciding to climb down, and then you can wear your flip-flops again. So please carry it in your bag. It is too much advisable, because we actually felt it as a challenge, because it was slippery and difficult for us to climb up. Climbing down, we somehow crawled and went, so I did not realize so much. But climbing up, also, I would also say that girls, if you're wearing short dresses, please wear shorts inside, because while you're climbing up, we don't want people to see something.
So after having our lunch, it was around close to 3:30, 3:35, and from that place to the Sanur port was around close to an hour
1
journey.
hour. So we decided to go back.
Yeah.
So as we were going near the parking lot, we saw something really incredible, which we want you to see. So the smoke which you're seeing in the video is actually water vapor from the sea, which is getting converted to
Clouds.
the cloud. Wow, it was so mesmerizing to see that. We actually thought that something is burning over there. So we were so curious, and when we saw, it was actually water vapors becoming clouds.
Yeah, and we actually saw the clouds formation over
Yes.
there itself, and it was actually flying up. And wow, it was like wow. And while going back again, the same story happened with the roads. It was so bad. So since we know that's going to take an extremely long time, the next place that we wanted to go, we decided probably the next time when we go to Bali, we would cover it.
Yeah.
So it took around close to an hour time frame to reach the Sanur port, and I think the fast boat actually started 15 minutes after that, and
Yeah.
then we reached close to I think
Five,
5:30.
yeah.
5:30 we were actually on the main port.
So here are some Harry Tinkers tips.
First one, please carry always please carry first aid.
Yes. Second point, please carry 2 sets of clothes and 2 sets of footwear as well. Flip-flops and trekking shoes.
Yeah, and the third point would be please make sure to carry enough amount of water.
So have proper breakfast and lunch because you will be definitely very hungry and exhausted during your travel in Nusa Penida. The next point is please carry sunscreen along and apply it every 3 hours if possible because the sun is very harsh on your skin and we got suntan which did not go for almost 6 months. I literally had my dress strap marks till 6 months.
So next point would be if you're renting a bike, please make sure it has enough petrol,
Yes.
or just carry an extra bottle of petrol if it is actually required. Also make sure to check the brakes, the horn, the tire pressure, everything before you
Start your journey. One more important point is please have the contact number of a crew member from the fast boat which you took because it would be easier for you to contact them if you face any issue.
Yeah, in any emergency situation, it's always better to carry the crew member.
Yeah.
And the next point, and I would suggest
The most important one.
if you want to cover entire Nusa Penida or probably the closer by island, I would suggest you to at least take 1 to 2 days of time frame to be there.
Explore the place. Stay there and in a relaxed way you can explore the whole island because it's not that big
That's right.
for you to explore. But 1 day is not enough to explore everything is what we realized. So if you like our video, please subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends if you found it informative.
Also, please click on the bell icon to receive new videos that we upload. And also, please provide your comments so that we can provide valuable feedback in case if you have any queries.
Thank you so much for watching.
And have a good day.